Hello and welcome back. Well, so much of our time, whether at home or at work, is spent online. But just how safe is the information that you send out? All it takes is a simple click of the mouse, and once you put it out there, you cannot take it back. But that doesn't mean it can't come back to haunt you.
One of the newer areas of the law deals specifically with internet security, privacy, and safety. Joining us today is criminal defense attorney Elizabeth Carpenter. She has done quite a lot in the area of cybercrime cases. So, Elizabeth, let's get right to it. Why don't you explain or define what are cybercrimes?
Cybercrimes are essentially any crime where somebody is doing illegal activity over the internet. Examples are identity theft, illegally downloading music, looking at illegal pornography.
There's cyberbullying,
cyberstalking.
Yeah, sexting.
And let's not talk about that gigantic category, which is all this hacking of email addresses, passwords, credit card companies' information getting stolen and used for all kinds of stuff that aggravates all of us. Your Rolodex is getting hacked from your email.
Yes.
That's cybercrime too, right?
Yes.
And that happens, is that relatively an easy thing? Because it happens so often, hacking.
Yes, it does. One problem is, though, that a lot of the illegal activity is happening from another country, but people in the U.S. and in our community are being victims.
All right, so big picture is when you're on a computer, you are on the internet, and the internet isn't something that extends from one end of your block to the next or one end of the city to the other end of the city. It's global. The internet is the entire globe, and so people across the globe are all the time trying to access personal data, all that information to do what with? Why don't you talk about that?
Oh, goodness. Like I mentioned before, identity theft, stealing people's bank account numbers. There's so many things that people can do. I mean, people can get your password and then get into, I mean, all your private files, basically.
So one obvious reason is money. They want to get with your password, they can get into your bank account. They can drain your bank account. They can take your private information and have a credit card issued in your name, but have it mailed to their private address, either in this country or to another country. And if protections that are out there already trying to stop that from happening don't work, next thing you know, you've got a $10,000 bill and your credit is really messed up.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the question is, what can you do? What can you do to protect yourself from that?
Of course, change your password regularly. Have passwords that are a little bit more difficult to for somebody to hack. If you believe that your accounts have been compromised, report it to the banking institution immediately, so they can try to minimize damage.
And you were saying earlier that in creating that password, if you put a number in there or if you put a capital letter in there, it makes it that much more difficult for someone to hack into your account.
Yes, yes, exponentially different.
All right, so let's talk about that, because Elizabeth had this point before the show. We were chatting. If your password has the letter O in it, well, put a 0 instead of an O. If it's got an A, you know, that little @ symbol, put an @ instead of an A. Remember to put, say, a 1 at the end of your password. And what that does is it makes a program that tries to guess your password, makes it work 100 times harder to guess your password. Also, don't leave your password written on top of a sticky stuck to your computer. Don't leave it in your wallet or your purse. If your purse gets stolen, well, they're going to figure out how to access your network, right? Things like that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, very important.
Definitely.
Right. So, if you don't mind, I want to ask the next question. This other aspect, never mind the hacking part, but if people are sharing files over the network, there's something called peer-to-peer network sharing. Define what that is.
Peer-to-peer network sharing is the computer user will go and will download a program. When they open that program and they're on the internet, that program can connect with other people, no matter where they are in the world, who are on the internet using that program as well. And it's a way for individuals to exchange, music, movies, basically any kind of file can be.
In fact, that's what has the movie industry, the music industry, even the software applications industry up in arms, because across the globe, people are sharing music just by the, I've used the word gazillion before. Gazillions of songs and movies are getting shared.
Bad intentions, I have a movie that I think you should see. I want to share it with you, or got a great song, and hey, John, I want to sing you this
Hopefully it's
song.
one that doesn't have a copyright protection. But what's happening here is people maybe unwittingly think, what's the big deal?
Right.
I was able to join this peer-to-peer network. Joining a peer-to-peer network is illegal, but when you have content that's supposed to be purchased in order for you to see it or listen to it, you're not supposed to be sharing it wholesale, letting people borrow it off of your computer, share it with somebody else, share it with somebody else. In other words, keep a copy, make a copy, share a copy. And so the industry is actually up in arms about it, and there are U.S. government entities who are actually prosecuting people for this, correct?
Correct, yes.
And that's something that you actually get involved in.
Yes.
You're defending people who are getting prosecuted. And there are criminal penalties that they can face, jail time, money penalties that they can face, and there are also lawsuits that can happen where people, the industry can go after people and have lawyers send them letters saying, you stop doing this, and we're aware of it, and now you have to pay penalties for that, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Right. So people don't have the rights to share these things, and it's the worst offenders who are people are going after first. Is that an accurate statement?
Yes, it is. The law enforcement is going to look at just the amount that is being illegally downloaded, and of course the content. Though, if we're talking about pornography and illegal pornography, that right away is. That right away is illegal, and they will go after you for that.
Sure. Well, when you say the amount, what would an amount be that would trigger law enforcement?
Right. Something. I would definitely think we need to get into, there would be thousands of songs, and then what also matters is what is that individual then doing with the content? Are they then selling it to try to get financial gain themselves?
Okay, all right. Well, Elizabeth, stay put, because we have another segment that's coming up. And looking at your questions, this is definitely an issue that you're all concerned about. We have to take a quick break right now, but when we come back, we'll get to your questions about internet safety. We'll be right back.